Okay, Crystal's Connections, Abuse Part 2. All right. So, okay then, and forgive me if I look like I'm a little bit out, sometimes sick, that's because, sometimes the lupus hits me and I'm just like, wow, but I'm praying, I'm in better, la la la, and all this. Okay. So, anyway, I'm going to try to start getting into a different aspect of it now. And first and foremost, let me tell you, I am giving God praise, honor, and glory, and letting be the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, and hear it ears who needs to hear this, what you need to hear, or maybe you hear it, act on it, and what you don't need to, it ain't for you, let it go. All right. So anyway, I'm never going to say, and nor will I encourage anybody in a marriage or to leave a marriage. I won't do that. So I don't want to be said, that I said, that Christiel said, because you said that you got to leave it. No, because that's not worth saying. Everything I'm giving on suggestions. I'm not doing nothing as a professional. I'm not going to, on suggestions and having been there and done that, or having been around other people who's been there and done that, or just, just recovering and, or just all of it. It's whatever. I'm not here as somebody. I'm not here going to be telling you or giving you permission to leave. This is something you have to find to do on your own. I will suggest that you have, in order to find this unknown strength that surpasses understanding, you can't understand it. I will say that you do need the Lord. That's the only way. As far as to get that strength that people can't understand, that's in there. I do suggest salvation. Always will, always do, for more reasons than one. But strength being one of them, just total salvation, but the strength. All right. So, now let me get in another aspect of this. I totally believe that if a person is got good self-esteem or starts finding out who they really are in Christ Jesus, and this is one reason you need to see Christ who he is so you can see who you are too, that they're not going to stay in abuse anyway. I don't believe anybody needs to stay in any kind of abuse. I just don't personally. But going back to where it was now, I believe once you start seeing who you really are, you're not going to stay in it. See, because what you have to understand is you are a priceless jewel, that your value is far above rubies, and that you're a treasure. You are a treasure, and there's no one like you, and you are an absolute treasure, and what you say matters, what you think matters, what you feel matters. What you love to do matters. We all want to stay in perspective with it, of course. But what you love to do, it matters. Who you are and what you are matters. And you got to understand that. Not just say it with your mouth. Everybody, a lot of people say it with their mouth, but they don't believe it. They don't believe that they really do matter. They don't believe that who they are really matters, or what they think really matters. They don't really believe that they have the value. And sometimes that stems from childhood up, and where you've been made from it at school, or from just a bad past history, A lot of them call them daddy issues, and I don't really think all of it's daddy issues. I think of it sometimes as the way we looked at things, and sometimes it is daddy issues, sometimes it's mom issues. Sometimes it's just everybody else's issues that you took on yourself. But it's issues nonetheless that you've took on, and sometimes you was just flat made of. I know there's a lot of people that's been made fun of because they didn't look like everybody else did in school or something. You just had a bunch of kids that just made fun of them, and or the way they looked or they didn't look, or the way they talked or didn't talk, or had or didn't have. They was just cut down, and then they took it and they internalized it. And then when you grow up, you're still holding on to that baggage of that you're not worthy, or that you're not good enough, or you're not as good as the rest of the people. And no matter what your mouth says, if your heart still believes that, then you're still just going to pick the same kind of people, the same type of person. Or if you start believing, if you got the wrong idea what love was growing up, say you had abusive parents or something like that, and there was abusive, and or you've seen it, you watched it, then you think you get the wrong idea what real love is. And then sometimes you don't have to have none of that. Sometimes somewhere down the line something happened and you just ended up in the wrong place. So, but in general, it's what it is you've just internalized something, you're carrying it on. So here you go, and then you get this person coming, they're love bombing you, and they're telling you all this beautiful stuff, and they're fixing you up, and then you're falling for it, hook, line, and sinker, because you want to be loved back. You want to be important to somebody. That's who we are. We want to be loved, and we want to be important, and we want to be the apple of somebody's eye. So God created us to desire that, you know it? And so it's not wrong desiring it. But the fact of the matter is if we're not finding who we are and learning to love ourselves first, then what we're going to do is grab onto what's wrong. We're going to grab onto the wrong thing, and the next thing you know, you're in an abusive situation, whether it be physical, mental, emotionally. You're in an abusive situation and taking it. Because you keep hoping, and if you leave and you come back, you keep hoping this time it'll change, this time it'll change, this time it'll change. And on a very, 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 very rare occasion, it actually has changed. But for the most part, it hasn't. I'm suggesting that you start learning how to love yourself. If you don't, even if you do get out and do get away, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with the same type of person, with the same type of actions, just a different name. It's going to be a cycle that keeps repeating itself over and over and over. Different faces, different names, same game. And you don't want that no more. You want things to start changing. You got to start changing who you are. Start building your expectation of who you are. Because once you start learning who you are, chances are, like I said already before, I think, and once you start learning who you are and you learn that you don't deserve abuse, that you're better than this, and no matter who or what or why they even say that you are, you don't have to accept it no more. And before you know it, you're getting out of it just because you know better. You know that's not who you are. I think sometimes we should start simple. I used to always suggest that go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and find something beautiful about yourself. Maybe it's your eyes, or I don't know, maybe you got a cute little chin or nose, or just whatever it is that's beautiful about yourself that you actually think is pretty. And you get in there and you look in the mirror and look at yourself in the eye and you say, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You got that beautiful nose, or your beautiful eyes, or just whatever. And you concentrate on that and you start there and remind yourself of how beautiful you are there. And then every time you hear something down, you go to the bathroom, look at yourself, and you do self-talk. No, you're beautiful. This is beautiful about you, and that's beautiful. You're smart. Nah. And you start understanding who you are, who you really are. Start learning to love yourself. And once you start learning to love yourself and who you are, and the beauty that God created you in, honey, He created you beautiful. You're awesome. And the gifts that He gave you, then you're going to stop listening to that negative talk, because you're going to start knowing better. Start getting better. And don't go back into it if you do get out. Don't go back into it. You get better first. Learn to love you. Learn to love who you are. Learn your value. Learn to be along with you, loving you. You got to learn who you really are. And who you really are is a beautiful treasure. Your values matter. Your thinking matters. What you think matters. Everything about you matters. No matter what they said. Love you. Because you are worth it. You know?